We've waited for so long, and soon we'll finally see the ending of Stranger Things. And there are so many topics to be covered in the final season. From the fates of the characters we worry about the most to unresolved relationships.
I dump your ass.
And to the dark secrets of the Upside Down.
Found you.
Let's recall all the major questions we need answered in Season 5. What's Will's role in all of it? Everything started with him, so it's only logical that it has to end with him. Will is clearly connected to the Upside Down, but we still don't understand how. He has these tingling feelings on the back of his head every time something happens. For sure it makes poor Will very scared, but what if he learns to use this connection? In this case, it'll play a huge role in the final season. He might learn to predict Vecna's attacks so that the other gang members can act accordingly and take him down. Besides, it's interesting how this connection came to be. After all, we have no idea what Will was doing while hiding in the Upside Down in Season 1. All we know is that he was singing a song there. But how exactly did he survive? Was it pure luck, or does Will have some abilities he doesn't know about himself? We've never seen the boy's time in the Upside Down from his perspective, and he hasn't told any details about it. And it's also unclear why he was kidnapped in the first place. Did Vecna sense something in Will and decide to kill him, or else make the boy his ally? We surely hope to get answers to all these questions in Season 5. And there's another character we really worry about. Will Max wake up? Last we saw her in Season 4, she was bedridden, in a coma, and all her limbs were broken. Even 11 wasn't able to find her in the void, so it's unclear if she's actually alive. And the Season 5 trailer didn't give us any hints on whether our favorite redhead will wake up. It only showed Max on a hospital bed, and then we saw her in Lucas's arms, still unconscious, while he was hiding from the Upside Down monsters. Her state is bound to change at some point. After all, Max can't remain like this till the end, and she can't just die, not now, after going through so much.
I survived before. I can survive again.
Besides, if the writers wanted to kill her off, they'd have done it already. So if Max is still alive, she's bound to wake up and maybe tell us something about where her consciousness had been. It's even possible that she'll somehow play a key role in taking Vecna down. But the main thing we want is for Max to stay alive, just like the next character. Will Steve survive? He's been on the edge so many times and has been beaten up in virtually every season. First by Jonathan, then by Billy, then by the Russians, and the worst one was probably by Demobats in Season 4. Will we finally see Steve the Hair Harrington without a drop of blood this time? That seems to be a vain hope, but we'll be satisfied if he at least stays with the gang till the very end. For many fans, Steve became the favorite character, transforming from a douche into a hero, and sometimes a babysitter. And we know what Stranger Things tends to do with heroes.
A newbie. Superhero.
He's a hero.
So, it's no wonder that fans worry about Steve. Yet some have come up with an interesting theory about him. And if they're right, he'll probably survive, but it might mean the end for another character. So let's move on to the next question. Will Nancy and Jonathan stay together? Until the previous season, these two had seemed to be the endgame couple. They were so perfect together that Murray, for example, understood everything even before they actually started dating.
How was the pullout?
However, Season 4 brought some challenges to their relationship. Nancy and Jonathan were apart for most of the time, each taking a very different path in life. Despite fighting the Upside Down monsters, it was clear that the two were suffering under a long-distance relationship. With all of that, we saw Nancy bonding with Steve and seeing how much he had grown. And that look she gave when he took off his t-shirt, Robin seemed to understand it better than anyone. Does it all mean that Nancy will get back together with Steve? If it happens, some fans assume that Jonathan may ultimately sacrifice himself. Do you believe that it's possible? Share in the comments below and tell us if you're Team Steve or Team Jonathan. On the other hand, there may be none of that, because the Duffers said that Season 5 will be pedal to the metal from the very beginning. That's not like there's going to be time to explore our character's love life, Matt Duffer explained. On that note, let's move on to the dark stuff. How is Vecna connected to the Mind Flayer? There's definitely some symbiotic relationship between the two. In Season 4, we saw a brief hint when Vecna/Henry/1 created the Mind Flayer from the particles that were flying around in the Upside Down. But there's still so much we don't know about how he did it or what purpose he had in mind. Did he plan to create some kind of killing machine? Are these particles sentient by themselves, and are they completely loyal to Vecna? How did the connection between them come to be? And probably the main question is how it works and whether this knowledge will help take down the main villain. After all, the gang managed to use the hive mind to their benefit in Season 2. Maybe it'll work again, and this time, they'll put an end to it all. We also wonder if 11 and everyone else will have to close the Upside Down for good, or destroy it completely. It's still unclear whether the latter is possible, because we know so little about that weird place. Which leads us to the next question. All the truth about the Upside Down. What the hell is this place after all? How does it work? And why does it seem to be stuck in time? It's still unclear how exactly the Upside Down came to be and how this dimension worked before and after 11 launched one in there. Why does it look like a perfect physical copy of Hawkins, seemingly stuck in the day when Will disappeared?
The last entry is November 6, 1983. The day Will went missing. The day the gate opened. We're in the past.
So far, it seems that the more the plot opens up all the mythology, the more questions arise about it all. And we can only hope that most of them will be answered in the final season. Do you have any theories on how it all works? Share them in the comments below while we're moving on to the next question. Will Russians come back? Trying to open the gate to the Upside Down in Hawkins, they became an unexpected villain in Season 3. Then it also turned out that they had a Demogorgon, a few other creatures, and even a piece of the Mind Flayer. It's unclear how they got it all and made it stay in the Kamchatka prison. After all, negotiations and bribes don't really work with these monsters. We also want to know why the Russians are so involved with the Upside Down. Since the show is set during the Cold War, they could be planning to use it to take down their enemy. But how did they even find out about the Upside Down? Do they have their own lab where they experiment on children with special abilities, like 11? Besides, it's unknown if it all ties to Vecna's plans in any way, and if the Russians will make a reappearance in the final season. Maybe one of their scientists will somehow help understand the nature of the Upside Down. We'll see. And for now, let's talk about less mysterious, but no less important things. Will Eddie's reputation be restored? He quickly became a fan favorite in Season 4, and his passing broke the audience's hearts.
I didn't run away this time, right?
There have been campaigns and petitions asking the showrunners to bring Eddie back. One of them garnered more than 30,000 signatures. But while Stranger Things fans adore Eddie, the residents of Hawkins clearly don't. For lack of a better explanation, everyone thought that he was involved in some cult and killed Chrissy. And it seemed they kept thinking that because the trailer showed Eddie's grave covered with not-so-good words. We all hope that the gang will somehow explain everything to the town residents and tell them how he died as a hero. It'll be an important thing to do for Dustin, who clearly still misses Eddie.
He fought and died to protect this town.
Yet here's the character no one seems to miss in the show. Where is Kali? Remember that gal from Season 2 who revealed herself as another child from the Hawkins lab and gave 11 some new vocabulary?
Bitchin'.
There was a whole episode about Kali and 11, but after Elle left her and her punky friends, we never saw her again. Does Kali even know about the entire mess happening in Hawkins? And will she reappear to help the gang fight Vecna? Her powers would certainly come in handy in the battle. On the other hand, the showrunners might not want to bring her back again because fans disliked the episode so much. But it would still be nice to get closure about Kali. Otherwise, that episode had no reason to even be in the show. What's your opinion about it? Share in the comments below as we're moving on to the final question. Will Joyce and Hopper go on that date? It's hard to believe that this awesome couple has never been on an actual date. Fans remember how Hopper asked Joyce out to meet at Enzo's in Season 3, but their plans were interrupted when they had to fight in the Starcourt Mall battle. And then Hopper almost died, was kidnapped by the Russians, and thrown into the Kamchatka prison. Now that both he and Joyce are back in Hawkins, fans want to see them finally go to Enzo's together.
Plus, we do have that bait to get to, remember?
Hopefully, they'll have time to do it among all the monster fighting, and actually remain alive for that. Are there any other storylines that you want to see resolved in Season 5? Share your questions and theories in the comments below. And, while we're waiting for the finale of Stranger Things, watch our other videos about the Netflix hit show.